To a special edition of Bad Level 10. We're going to be looking at one console and one console only, the Jaguar.
This is still one of the most competitively priced new next-generation consoles, so we'll be taking it through its paces.
We're going to be revving up the counter with this motorbike menace, Burnout.
And we'll be taking a look at the strange yet beautiful platform game, Rayman.
Now, the Jaguar is a strange beast. All the developers we've spoken to have said it's a great bit of kit with loads of potential, but so far the games don't seem to have lived up to that potential. It's a shame, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, it's a really weird turn of events, especially as Atari effectively started the video games industry about 20 years ago. But then, in the mid-80s, they lost out to Sega and Nintendo and let them get a stranglehold. And now you just can't get the games.
Yeah, but the key thing about the Jaguar is price. See, it's a better bit of kit than the 16-bit consoles, the Mega Drive and SNES, but it's much more affordable than the 3DO and the Super consoles. So we're going to look at some games that are coming out in the next year. First up, any console needs a top-notch beat-em-up, and this is going to be one for the Jaguar, Fight for Life. Well, this is one beat-em-up that'll get imaginations running riot. Fight for Life is a 3D combat game set in hell. Each character is duelling for the ultimate prize, the chance to beat the hand that fate dealt them and cheat death itself, because, for the final victor, the trophy is life itself and the chance to live again. Players pick their favourite combatant from 8 different contenders. Each character has his or her own special fighting style and moves, of course. Some are faster than others, but when a character lacks in speed, they usually make up for in strength. Overall, the contestants are pretty evenly matched, but as usual, it takes quite a while for you to find the one which best suits your own dexterous, finger-slipping style. Each fight is spread over several rounds, which is adaptable via the options menu, and it's the energy bar at the top you've got to watch out for. If it starts to get dangerously low, it's time to forget about pulling off those flashy moves and go for the bog-standard attack and defence techniques to get you through to the next stage. During the game, you'll have to take on all the other fighters in a battle to the finish before facing off with the final boss. As each opponent is knocked aside, players can select 2 of the defeated characters' special moves to add to their own arsenal. Now, Steve, this is it, isn't it? We knew it wouldn't be long before Atari brought out their own 3D fighting game, and it's finally arrived.
Yeah, at first glance, it looks pretty cool. It's not 100 miles away from the SNES FX Fighter.
The gameplay, what's that like?
It's quite slick. Early version is not as smooth as it will be, but the idea of learning your defeated opponent's moves is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, each character has 5, so every time you play, you can choose different ones and basically create your own personal fighter.
So, in conclusion?
I'm really looking forward to the finished version of this. However, something has to be done about the dreadful joypad. It's a complete dog and makes playing the game a real chore.
Now, the Jaguar is made by a company called Atari, and we're going to take a bit of a break from games to show you something else made by them. It's called the Falcon, and it's a really beautifully designed computer. Now, even though you may not have heard of the Falcon before, it's not new. It's actually been around a couple of years. It's just there hasn't really been the software available for it. But we have found one bit of software that really knocks the spots off the competition. It's called Apex Media. It's a design and morphing package, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, at first sight, it looks like any other graphics package. You've got the basic tools, including this one, where you can write your name or do freehand drawing. And you can also do things like basic shapes in all different colours. But to really show off the power of Apex Media, I'm going to use it to change Steve's looks. Now, the way it works on computer is a bit like this in real life. Steve, come here a minute. I don't think he knows quite what to expect. On the computer, I want to make his face seem puffed up. So I'm going to choose 2 points, there and there, say, lovely. And then I'm going to stretch from those 2 points. Very easy to do in real life because his face is so muscular. But I've actually digitised a picture of Steve onto the computer to do exactly that. First of all, I have to place what are known as 4 warp lines across Steve's face. So 1 at the top, make them evenly spaced, 1 around his eyes. This one around his mouth was the one I showed you on his face, and then just 1 at his shoulders. Now, the thing to do is to move to the last frame. What I'm doing now is, this is going to be the last frame we see, the finished Steve. Be like, this is before, and I can show you after. Now, first of all, I have to move this dot along a bit, and the other one. Like when I was pulling his cheeks out, we're kind of stretching those lines. And now all I have to do is process a picture. Now, this is normally the point where you just sit back and relax while the computer takes 3 minutes or more, thank you, assistant presenter, to produce the finished picture. But with the Falcon, it can take as little as 20 seconds.
Oh, like that then.
Once I'm happy with the result, I can animate the effect over a series of pictures. But morphing and distorting is just one of the tools in this programme. Using the others, you can manipulate pictures, rotating and flipping them to any angle. Recolour particular parts of a picture. Suits you, sir. And cut out parts of a picture and then superimpose them on other backgrounds. Nice face, shame about the body. There's even a really neat zoom-in facility that works in real time. This allows you to quickly zoom into a part of a picture so you can edit pixel by pixel. It's a great little package, and at 120 quid it's more powerful than a lot of really expensive packages for the PC. So where's the snag? Well, it only runs on the Falcon, so if you want to use it, you've got to fork out about 600 quid for the machine. And we should say that although the Falcon is a good machine, it's mainly used by specialists for graphic design or for music composition. So if you want a machine for playing the latest games on, I'm afraid the Falcon isn't really an option. The Jaguar is though, and our next game preview is Rayman, a platformer. Given half the chance, most of us would give up living on this boring planet to trade places with a video game character and embark upon fantastic adventures in fantastic lands. The TikTok teenager's programmed his own video game, and by some technological twist, he's transformed himself into Rayman, platform adventurer supreme, and jumped straight into his own self-created world. Rayman consists of 6 separate universes stuffed full of individual levels in which you, the hero, have to guide Jimmy's character. The gameplay has been designed in such a way that whenever you pick up the controller and plug in, you can choose from a number of different paths to go down. This means you can play the same level over and over again without seeing exactly the same things twice. So at last the Atari gets a decent platform game. But is it basically the same as every other one, Steve?
Well, it's definitely great looking. One of the Jaguar's main advantages over 16-bit consoles is that it's capable of showing 65,000 colours at once. And boy, does it show on this game. It's one of the prettiest and most colourful I've ever seen.
In conclusion?
They set out to make a benchmark platform game by which all other Jaguar platformers will be judged. And they've succeeded.
The final instalment in our trio of Jaguar games is a bike racer, yet another must-have kind of game for any console. The Jaguar offering in this department is called Burnout. Competitors take to the tarmac in a series of races from around the world. Nothing new there, but the Jaguar version of the game boasts 10 totally different tracks, each with their own tactical features. Some tracks are built purely for speed, and all you've got to do is maintain the maximum amount of revs on the rev to beat the other bikes to the finish line. On the other hand, others call on your technical skills, as you have to lean into the tortuous curves and negotiate the treacherous chicanes that pepper the course. To help you get to the top of the leaders' table, you have a choice of 8 bikes to pick from. As usual, none of the bikes is perfect, so it's down to you to pick one that'll fill in the gaps where you're lacking in talent. A motorbike that's good at taking corners might have the acceleration of a scooter, whilst one that shifts like the wind might grip the surface like a skater on ice. So, achieving top speeds and top times is what this race is all about. So, do you reckon there'll be a better racing experience on the Jaguar this year, Steve?
I'm not a big fan of motorbike racing games. Kawasaki seems to have put me off a bit, but this is really shaping up.
This has got a 2-player split screen mode, which is good.
Yeah, it's just like the one we've seen in Road Rash. It would have been better if they'd used a cable link-up feature, which they've just produced for Doom.
In conclusion?
It looks like being a really nice addition to the Jaguar stable, but let's hope they stick that link-up feature in there, though, for the final version.
So, that's it for our Jaguar special.
Yeah, you can put your claws away now, Violet.
Oh, Steve, you're such a pussycat. See you next time.